All right. Hello, everyone. We are live streaming to the entire world, or whoever happens to be watching wherever they are in the world. I can't guarantee the entire world is watching, but surely at least someone is. Welcome to the August 2025 Poetry Superhighway Live open reading. My name is Rick Lupert. I'm your MC for this afternoon of poetry. Happy to have you all here with us. Um, have got a bunch of people set to read. We've got some more people who have signed up in advance who are not here yet, and I'm sure we'll have a few other people join. Um, if you would like to participate in the open reading and you're watching out there in the world, just you need to join the Zoom in order to sign up and tell me that you'd like to read. As always, it's a one poem situation. Pick a poem to read, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in your poetry world, something you've got going on that you are interested in, a new book you've got out. What else could you possibly want to tell us about poetry? It could be so many different things. A reading that you've done, a new publication. The possibilities are endless. So, well, within the realm of poetry. Having said all that, I want to tell you a little bit about what's going on in Poetry Superhighway land. As you probably know, we're in the middle of our poetry contest. I think I put 27th annual poetry contest in the reminder for this reading that I just sent out. Um, However, I believe it's actually the 28th, and I've lost track of the numbers because the entire system is falling apart. I mean, the contest is going well, but my ability to tell the difference between 27 and 28 is diminishing. So that having been said, the contest itself is going well. We have almost 300 poems entered so far. The deadline to enter is towards the end of September. I think it's September 27th. Um, $1 per poem entry fee. You can enter as many poems as you'd like. You can enter as often as you'd like up until that deadline. You can pay directly with a credit card using the online form. You can select the option to send in a check if you would like. 100% of those entry fees are divided up amongst the top three scoring poets. How are those determined? We've got three judges. They're receiving all of the entries every day as they come in batches in one batch per day. They get them with your name removed, so they're blindly judging the poems. They have no idea if the poems coming in are from one person or five people or who knows. They don't know. I know. Is the answer to that question. They send them back scored. Eventually, the contest ends, and we see who has the highest scores, and those folks win. And those folks win 100% of the entry fees. So if you enter 10 poems for $10, you can confidently know that all 10 of those dollars are going directly to the entrance of the contest. I'm not taking my cut, if you know what I mean. That's what I'm trying to tell you. On top of which, every single person who enters the contest gets a prize just for entering. We have many sponsors have offered to send books and other kinds of things directly to anyone who enters the contest. So if you enter and you don't happen to be one of the three winners, you're still a winner. You'll still get a prize. So that's the big news in poetry superhighway land. And I hope you'll consider entering. Head to our website, poetrysuperhighway.com/PSH, and you will be more than welcome to, you'll find all the info on how to enter there, and I hope you do. It's a fun situation. Here's who I have on the list for the open reading, people who are here and who signed up in advance: Ed Gonzales, Lorraine Caputo, Dave Eberhardt, Jennifer Phillips, Ron Bremner, Diane Elayne Dees, Duane L Herrmann, and Kathryn Paulson. Anyone else here who didn't sign up in advance, or if you're watching again on YouTube and want to join the Zoom and send me a message, and I'll be happy to add you. All right, I believe that's it. That's everything I need to tell you. So we're going to get right to the reading. Lorraine Caputo, you are on deck. Please welcome our first reader, Ed Gonzales. Hello, Ed.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Rick, and everyone on the Poetry Superhighway. I'm nothing but grateful. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let's see. This was entitled "Remember." I had wrote it for my father-in-law, and great guy. It's entitled "Remember Everything." I want to remember everything. I had a great fear of dying, until I took my father-in-law to the hospital for the 100th time. Actually, it was the last time. While in the hospital, he fell into a very quiet sleep. In REM, he started laughing, the kind of laughing that promotes happy tears from the whole room. He began speaking Cuban to several relatives who had passed on. It was such an expression of joy. And when he woke, he said to me, "Take me home. I'm not dying here." We did, and it was the happiest I've ever seen him. He was with us for another 3 days until the ambulance was called. I grabbed his hand as they pulled him away on the gurney. "Until we meet again, Don Ramon." And that was for my father-in-law. Thank you.
Ed, thank you so much. What a great poem about makes us think about our own mortality, which of course you and I were talking about before the whole thing started. I think we are now working on solving that issue
Yes, sir.
for everyone else, and we're gonna, I don't know, send me an email. We'll see what we can do and to fix that. What's
Whatever. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't
Yeah, I
mean
was
to
gonna
interrupt.
feel free to respond to that. I was just gonna ask what's going on in your poetry world.
Well, I'm still working on my book. And I'm trying to put it together. Other than that, I attend on Mondays to the Barbed Wire open mic on YouTube, and also the live events in El Paso. Also involved with the El Paso Poetry Workshop group, which is a local group. Other than that, that keeps me busy, and also my full-time job, which is full-time grandpa, which is a job I've waited for a long time and love doing. I just want to thank you, Rick. Everyone here at the Poetry Superhighway, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ed. I'm wondering how, just another thing to solve is how well does being a grandfather full-time pay? There's just another question I'm throwing out there for you to consider. One, you're also trying to solve immortality. Just now you've got two projects, but important ones, I think.
I pay a lot, but it's well worth it.
Very good.
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
Ed, thanks so much for being here. Round of applause for Ed Gonzales.
Thank you.
On deck is David Eberhardt. Please welcome now Lorraine Caputo. Hello, Lorraine.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is called, whoops, wrong window. Fishing for Magic. Up and down the river boardwalk, along the swollen river, people dip lines into the quick current. A man fights to bring his back in, long, expensive rod bending, only to emerge debris. A large raft of water lilies swiftly drifts downstream. And that woman, thick armed, thick bellied, thick feet shod in flip flops, again unhooks a fish, kicking its flapping body towards her pile, and returns to drop her simple line from a bamboo pole into the fast flowing waters. Sister, what is your magic that will feed your children this night?
Lorraine, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that really nice reading of that poem as well. Well
Thank
done.
you.
What's going on in your poetry world?
Well, still waiting for some upcoming publications in journals on several continents, and every month still putting together a collection of my previously published travel poetry that are available for free on my blog, Latin America Wanderer.
That's cool. Travel poetry is amongst my favorite work that exists. So cool to hear someone else immersed in that world. Good luck with it.
Thank you.
All right, round of applause for Lorraine Caputo. Thank you, Lorraine, for being here. On deck is Jennifer Phillips. Please welcome David Eberhardt. Hello, David.
Can you hear me? Okay, good. At 84, I'm a little burnt out doing parodies of other people's work. Anyway, this poem is rather technical for people knowledgeable on poetry because it's about enjambment, where you end your lines in a poem. And it's a parody that begins with parody of Shelley's To a Skylark. Hail to thee, blithe spirit, bird thou never wert, that from heaven or near it pourest thy full heart in profuse strains of unpremeditated art. And here's my parody version, talking about where American poetry ends the line lengths, higgledy-piggledy. Hail to thee, blithe cadaver dog. Retriever dabrapoodle thou never wert. Tracker of serial prose, quote, poets. A crowd gathered at the scene of the crime, where prose posed as a poem, and our dog, who'd sniffed the corpse, picked out a person and sniffed him and her. It was the killer of poetry, indeed. The perpetrator offered rationales. Later, we found out why. The person had considered his prose to be poetry. One, everybody's doing it. William Carlos Williams and Pound started it. Make it new, said Pound. Bukowski. It approximates spoken American better. And the line where a comma would have gone before. Forensic science helped solve the case. The spatter of prose like blood on the page, Exhibit A, lines broken up like hail to thee, blithe, stop, skylark, dot, bird, thou never stop, word, and so on, then why did the perp reappear at the scene of the crime he or she had committed? And it was she or he who called the police. The urge to confess is a wrongdoing. It's always strong. Our dog, Randy, has solved over 700 cases. Of this perp, the usual denials by neighbors, he never bothered anyone, or she was an upstanding Christian. In fact, a Sunday school teacher like BTK. Later, at the sentencing, study Baudelaire, Gerard Manley Hopkins, and Philip Larkin. That's my thank you.
David, thank you. It must be quite a burden to have to write parodies of other people's poetry all the time, like that. But it feels like important work to be done for sanity's sake. Thank you so much for doing that. Anything going on in your poetry world you want to tell us about?
Well, at 84, again, a sign of burnout, I think. I'm just loving popular song lyrics. Poetry that moves me to tears and emotion, and not academic stuff. I bring up the Bee Gees, Brian Wilson, even Led Zeppelin, and the words bring me to tears. I need that in poetry at my age.
Yeah, well, there's certainly a great relationship between song lyrics and poetry. So that's very cool. And I'm glad you found some space for yourself in that realm. So thank you so much for being here. Good to hear your poem, and come and read again.
Thank you.
All right, round of applause for David Eberhardt. On deck, I think we lost Ron Bremner, so it looks like we're gonna say on deck is Diane Elayne Dees and move on now to Jennifer Phillips. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Rick. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to share a poem with you. And this one is one of that old trope of the love of your youth that went badly. But afterward seems like not such a terrible thing. It's called Roadkill. The dawn rabbits throw themselves across the road in zigzags. Most of them survive the crossings, and the chipmunks, hoisting tail and arrowing straight on their minute, scintillating feet, but not the raccoons that amble like bandits humping loot sacks at one pace once they have made their choice. Scaffolded for the crow's breakfast. I wish I'd headed for the hills when you first rumbled toward me, when your easy beams picked me out and pinned me down. Which of our hearts was percolating like a Harley turning into the night cafe, heat licking along the tailpipe? Only one of us in leathers, one with a bare shin against the bright chrome burn. Early experiments of the heart, like shallow head wounds, gush a lot, feel like death careening toward you on the straightaway, but mend faster than you expect. You leave little catastrophes like flattened ribbons of fur along the curb, but you go on, become adept at crossings. There goes the sun again, nose diving into the Pacific. Apollo in his chariot of fire, I thought, but no, Icarus. I've learned it's possible to sit a while in the dark, even tranquil, crossing paths with the stars in their feathers of light, brushing me so softly as they pass. Thanks.
Nice work, Jennifer. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. What's happening with you in poetry these days?
Finally, my third chapbook, Sailing to the Edges, is coming out from Finishing Line Press next month. And it's poems that arose from a trip to Iceland, Svalbard, and down the coast of Norway. And a long narrative poem about the voyage of the young Roald Amundsen on the Belgian ship Belgica to the Antarctic, on which he was a crew member. So when you go to Norway, Amundsen is everywhere. So I channeled his spirit for a while and wrote a kind of long poem about it, and then some short ones as well. So that's the next thing.
It's always the next thing, isn't it? We just put a thing out, and then the next thing is like saying, "Hey, how about this next thing you have to do?" But I guess that's better than not having a next thing. So well done.
Thank you.
All right, Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. Round of applause for Jennifer Phillips. On deck is Duane Herrmann. Please welcome now Diane Elayne Dees. Hello, Diane.
Hi, Rick. I'm going to read a poem called After. After you've hired the trainer, changed your hairstyle, painted the walls, bought a new wardrobe, rearranged the furniture, after you've risked new nail colors, bought new shoes, discarded the mattress, sold your jewelry, met with your bankers, purchased better bras, changed the dinnerware, you luxuriate in the mauves and orchids and teals and brightness of it all. You are a new woman. The problem is that the former woman The younger, broken one is still there, admiring your pencil skirts while mocking you for thinking you could ever leave her behind. She covets your freedom. You desire her youth. The cleverly colored house isn't big enough for the both of you. You bump into each other at every turn. Will she ever move out, you wonder? Or after you've cried all your tears, exhausted all your rage, after you've stopped cursing reality, will you just forgive her and let her be?
I see a theme of mortality and aging popping
Oh,
up in what's being read today. Diane, thanks for joining in with that, whether it was your intention to do that or not. Great piece. What's happening with you?
well, if you think we've had some mortality themes so far, this is what's happening.
I don't recall exactly why I died. Is that what that
Exactly
says?
when I died.
But
Yeah.
when I died, yes.
Yeah, this is my latest chapbook. So, and that poem is from this chapbook.
Talk about a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Great title. Very cool. Is that's something people can pick up online anywhere if they want?
Yes, it's available from the publisher Kelsey Books, but it's less expensive to get it from Amazon. I know a lot of people don't like to buy from Amazon, so you have a choice.
Yeah, I'm an equal opportunity shop where you want kind of person. It's the people who publish the work, get more,
Sure.
if you buy directly from them, and that's a real thing since it's they're doing the work of the Lord, as it were. No one's making a lot of money doing it. On the other hand, you can't really complain if someone buys your book from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And they still get something from it. And it's, we have our free shipping from Amazon or whatever. So, it's it all makes sense to me. So I'm just glad that it exists. It's a great title, and I hope it does really well.
Thank you. It's the it originally had another title, but that's a whole other story. But the title that it has is the framing line of A Crown of Sonnets that is in the book.
Cool. Well, I think you landed on a good title. No complaints there. And if you
Thank
do
you.
find out when you died, let us know. We just want
You'll
to
be the
have it
first.
for the record.
You'll be the first.
All right, Diane, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Rick.
Round of applause for Diane Elayne Dees on deck. I've got these folks left. I've got Duane Herrmann, Kathryn Paulson, and Lorraine McMillan, and me. If I missed anyone who would like to read, please let me know. If you're watching on YouTube or yeah, join and you want to read, you still got a little bit of time if you want to join and add yourself to the open reading list. Kathryn Paulson, you're on deck. Please welcome now Duane L Herrmann. Hello, Duane.
I'm here. I'm here. This poem I want to read could be a response to your poem, Rick, Table for Zool, except I wrote this one years and years ago, but it's sort of a response in a way. It's called The Word is One. Giving his Sermon on the Mount, Muhammad took a breath and uttered timeless words. Jesus stood in command at the head of his army to fight the true inner jihad. Jerusalem rang its bells as Krishna rode the stallion on the 1st of Ramadan. The gate of glory opened while drums and cymbals praised the Lord of hosts. Minarets of Byzantium sang as Buddha raised his pen and wrote immortal hymns. Zoroaster strode the water to launch salvation's ark upon the sea of self. And that's from my book, Ishnographical 173. Came out quite a while ago. So, brother.
Well, when you're speaking of gods and what's possible, how can you really tell what poem was written first? You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
Cool. Well, thank you for the honor of letting me know that you read that poem.
I did. I
That's
read your
cool.
stuff sometimes. Sometimes.
Once or twice a decade. I appreciate it. It's
At
kind of
least, at
you.
least. Yeah.
Um, I listen to every word you say every month, by the way, Duane, just so you know. I'm just throwing that out there. So, you know. Um, cool. What's going on with you in poetry?
Well, earlier this week, I got a poem published with Spill Words called How Do I Do This? And I like what they do. They match a picture with your poem, and all of the pictures are spot on. The ones of the outside pictures, they've got some farm pictures, and I really like those because I'm right to those. And then yesterday, a little memoir was posted on Feed the Holy, but that's not poetry, but it happened, and I'm glad that it happened. That's about it.
What does that mean? A message was posted on Feed the Holy.
Oh, memoir, a little memoir of mine.
Oh, is that a Feed the Holy is a press or?
It's a website, page, blog,
Oh, I
something.
see. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. It's kind of new. It started, I think, in January.
That's great. Well, post a link to it if you want. We're all
Okay.
interested in writing of any kind, and at least to know what other publications are out there,
Okay.
etc. So cool. Congrats on that.
I can do both of them, yeah.
All right. Well, Duane, nice to hear your work again. Long live Zool, and round of applause for Duane Herrmann. All right. Lorraine McMillan, you're on deck. Please welcome Kathryn Paulson. Hello, Kathryn.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay, so this is Welcome to the Harem. Really, welcome. We mean it. You will receive, at the very least, many words guaranteed to please, to make you feel a slew of complicated things, as if your mind's been read, your desires known, felt, anticipated. We saw your posts, those hearts, your quick and lively replies. We guessed you'd be joining us soon. Just don't expect more than your share. Don't make the mistake, as some of us have done, of thinking you're the special one.
Good advice for all humanity, Kathryn. Nice job. What's happening with you in poetry?
Well, okay, the things that have already happened. 2 chapbooks. I posted in the chat. Catch of the Night, Dream Theme Poems from Bottle Cap Press. The Poetry Habit, poetry habit related poems from Claire Songbird's Press. And this makes me a little sad, actually, because a couple of weeks ago, I got the first ever package from Wales. And it was what is the last issue of Lucid Dreaming, which after quite a bit of time published Catch of the Night, the title poem of the dream-related chapbook. And so, it was nice. They paid me for the poem. And I think the postage from Wales costs more than, the poem did. And it was touching. But it's sad that they're not going to be around any longer. But I would also like to tell you, I have just discovered, I would like to sing the praises of another poet whom I just discovered, and maybe many of you already know, Patricia Lockwood. I had read actually a novel in little bits of stories that was just so wonderfully written, really unlike anything I'd ever seen prose-wise. And then I learned she was a poet. And so from the library reserved, this one is called Motherland, Fatherland, Homeland Sexuals. And again, unlike anything I've read, she's, I guess, a speculative poet. Nothing like what I write, nothing like what most of us, I think, write, but so inspiring to me. So a week ago, I was taking a train to New Jersey to a contra dance in Chatham. And I brought this with me to read. And so I'm dancing with someone. We have name tags, and his name tag says Gary. And I think, oh, damn, just a little while ago, I was reading a poem by Patricia Lockwood called The Hunt for a Newborn Gary. Uh, and again, unlike anything I'd ever read. So I'm just, she would not be everyone's cup of tea, but I'm always really inspired when I encounter someone so inspiringly original that I really think it's so great that I didn't miss her, because there are so many writers in the world, past and present, that you can't read everything anyone wrote whose work you might want to read. So.
Yeah, no, agreed. There's quite a lot out there, which means that there's always something good to be discovered, which is a cool thing. Kathryn, that's great. Thank you so much for putting Patricia Lockwood on our radar, and as well as reading your poem. Nice to hear you today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, round of applause for Kathryn Paulson. On deck is me to close out the open reading. I think that's everyone else who we have on the list. I don't think I missed anyone. So please welcome our next reader, Lorraine McMillan. Hi, Lorraine.
Hello, everybody. My poem is called The Broken Ring. My ring always sat on the end table by my bed. This ring meant the world to me, given by my best friend and lover, Rick. I remember so well when it was placed on my finger as my heart sang. We spoke one day of marriage. I loved him deeply. Just looking in his big brown eyes brought me much pitter patter and a deep calmness. He sat with me in the truck, the blue truck. I loved our alone time together. We laughed. He made me laugh often. And for this, I'm thankful, truly. I really had a very hard time with trusting people, and mostly men. So it was a blessing that he came into my heart. And I had time, and I'm glad that I had time to be with him. Then the breakup day came. The end.
Literally.
Literally.
Lorraine, I was going to say everyone needs a good Rick lover, so I'm glad you had that experience. And I'm sorry that it ended, but to have loved and lost is better to have not loved at all. Someone said that once. I don't think I made that up.
Yeah.
What's happening with you in poetry?
What I like to do is write the story of my life, because it is kind of interesting, the path I've been on. So that's basically it.
You're just
Period.
working on your life story, is what you're saying.
Yes, I would like to. Yes.
All right. Well, when we talk to you next month or the next time you're here, well, let us know how far along you've progressed in that.
All right, I will.
All right. Good to hear you. Thanks for being here. A round of applause for Lorraine McMillan. All right. Looks like we are at the end of the open reading. I'm going to close with a poem. Some of you may know I have a new book out. It's called High Moose Alert, travel poems that I wrote last summer when Addie and I were lucky enough, Addie's my wife, to visit Vancouver and the Canadian Yukon and different parts of Alaska. It was a really great trip. And I wrote this particular piece towards the end of that trip when we were spending a final couple of nights in Anchorage, Alaska. This poem is called Goodnight Anchorage. People are wandering around the Hilton at 12:30 in the morning like it's 12:30 in the afternoon. The constant daylight messes with everyone's sensibility on when to do things and when not to. I can't imagine what the constant nighttime is like when winter comes along. People doing nothing for days on end while the snow comes down and doesn't stop. This is a life so many have chosen up here, so few of them vegetarians judging by the items on the available menus. oh, there are options, but this is another area where this city needs to be updated. We've moved to a different hotel for boring reasons, but this was the plan all along, so don't get any ideas. It's almost as dated as the last one, but the fitness room stays open forever like the forever summer sun. Employees are populating the elevators like joyrides. I don't know if they're prepping for the next day or don't realize the last one has ended. The train whistle is perpetual. 2 hoots. Is that the right word? Hoot? No, wait, it's whistle, isn't it? Indicating it is approaching an intersection, completely audible on the 21st floor where we have a full view of where the Nick and Turnagain arms kiss. Maybe they didn't meet, but rather have always been the 2 arms of downtown Anchorage. Tomorrow is easy, no specific wake up, no bags out, nothing we have to get to. Breakfast, a museum maybe, in and out of the shops. It is our last day. We have a bonus night at the end of it, and then we're out of here. Get ready for some heavy nostalgia about things I'm not done experiencing. Get ready for nonsense on a plane. It's all coming on the pages that await you. There you go. There is a poem from me from my book, High Moose Alert. I did a publication event for this. If you go to my website, poetrysuperhighway.com, there's a video right there. You can check it out. I read a bunch more poems from it. I had a guest, someone I met in actually in the Yukon, who worked at the Jack London Museum, who gave us a nice talk about Jack London there. She talked about that and her experiences of her family owning the bar that owned the sour toe cocktail, where basically what's available there is a drink with a human mummified toe. That's probably enough to tell you at this point. A lot of great stories in this book, and that was a great event. You can check it out at my website, poetrysuperhighway.com. There's more poems there and stuff as well. All right. Thanks everyone for being here. This is a nice compact event. I want to thank Ed, Lorraine, David, Jennifer, Diane, Duane, Kathryn, and other Lorraine for being our readers tonight. Great to hear your work. Really good work today. Our next reading will be Sunday, September 7th at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. I think that's 1 p.m. in Anchorage if you happen to be located there. And that's everything I need to tell you outside of just a reminder that our contest is ongoing. Head to our website, poetrysuperhighway.com/PSH, and all the info on how to enter is there. You're guaranteed to get a prize just for entering, and who knows, you might win and make a bunch of money. Next reading, Sunday, September 7th. I'm going to click the Ask All to Unmute button in case everyone wants to say hi to each other before we shut this thing down.
Well, I do have a question about your last book, The High Moose Alert. Is there also a low moose alert or a sideways moose? I'm a little bit confused here.
We were pretty much on high moose alert the whole time, I have to say. It was a heightened awareness of there could be a moose at any moment.
Mooseness?
Yeah. So
Well, my son was about 10 when they were out at the farm, and we heard this sound, and he said, "Was that a moose?" And I said, "No, we are in Kansas. We are mooseless. We are not Muslims." And he thought it was very funny.
a lot of people think what they say is really funny, and you can tell by the way they laugh themselves after saying it. So, there's some evidence there, I think, to that.
Yep.
I don't know. We in the Northeast take our moose very seriously.
I take your moose serious. A serious
As you
moose.
should.
Good for you. They're kind of big.
Very good.
I worked 3 seasons in Denali, and our housing was right in the middle of moose calving grounds.
Oh.
And so it was always an experience to have to go to bathroom in the middle of the night and walk a quarter of a mile to the bathhouse and see Mama Moose and her twins and wonder where Papa Grizz was.
I was looking for them the whole time and they didn't show up. So it was kind of disappointing. Denali is a gorgeous place, though. We really liked it there.
Well, my dad, I guess in my early childhood, I either in Newfoundland or Goose Bay, Labrador, went moose hunting with some friends and acquired a moose skin. A long time later, decades later, in the garage, Dad is showing me this moose hide and says, "Would you like it? Would you like to make something out of it?" So I accepted the offer and I made myself a very simple cape out of that moose skin, which I wore back in my, I don't know if you'd call them my hippie days, maybe a little later. And then at a certain point, burglars who broke into my roommates in my apartment, they found nothing electronic or otherwise valuable, but they weeded out our wardrobe, including my moose